Well, hello there. This is Michael from Make It WordPress, and it is due time because it has been. I have been taking a couple of months to make a new video, some pretty big progress going on, but it's now time to continue with this blazing new video. And today we are going to look into Rocket.net. Just a small introduction. I'm Michael from Make It WordPress, and I'm on quest to find the best possible of WordPress, and in this journey I'm looking into WordPress hosting companies. So what is a hosting company? A hosting company is a place where you rent a space for a website, so where you can have a website and start your online life or online presence. So I was approached by Rocket.net to review the service, and well, I always like to do that. So, what is Rocket.net? Well, Rocket.net is WordPress hosting, managed WordPress hosting, which entails a lot of services, and their unique point is, I think, speed and simplicity, with moreover global speed. So, what they do, they have a couple of data centers all over the world, and also they use a CDN, a global a content delivery network, which means that parts of your website will be delivered from a location as close as your home or to the home of a visitor. And the unique thing is that they fine-tuned this to the edge, so to say. They set this up that it works really well, and actually your website is pretty fast all over the world. Which I also did test, but more about that later. Obviously, their platform is also secure, it's scalable, so you can have a lot of visitors. It's very simple, and moreover, well, faster page speed, as I said. They're focusing on speed. Security is well done through a couple of security measures, and at last, these are the plans. They have a starter plan, which is for a single website, which starts at 25 a month if you bill annually, and 30 a month if you bill monthly, and it goes all the way up to the agency, which supports 25 installs now, 500,000 visits, 50 gigs of storage, and of course CDN SSL and a firewall included. Now you might find them a bit expensive, but that's because they're a managed WordPress host, and compared to other managed WordPress hosts such as Kingsta and WP Engine, they're pretty cheap for what they offer. So in this video, I will be going through the platform of Rocket.net. Just click through it. I will make a new site, and you'll see how it works, so you can have a good insight if this would be the platform for you. I will conclude some of my remarks on the testing and reviewing process, and yeah, that's basically the video. So let's go ahead, and I will just log in. And there we are. This is a login screen. Pretty simple. And there we are. So if you log in, you arrive at this dashboard, which gives an overview of the current website, your support tickets, a couple of updates, not so much in there, and the amount of sites that supported, the amount of unique visitors, disk usage, and the bandwidth usage, which, while it's not advertised on the pricing plans, is half a terabyte. Which is pretty nice. So as you can see, the platform is really simple. They didn't put any more information in that is needed. And let's go ahead and create a site. Goes like this. Now we can pick a location. So you can hear it from my probably from my English that I'm from Europe. Actually, I'm from the Netherlands. I will choose a server in the Netherlands because that's where most of my visitors are. But as I said in the introduction, this platform is unique that it's fast all over the globe. Let's continue. And there we can have, this is our basic URL, which is generated by default. because we didn't choose a domain before. We can create a username here. I'll just make it like this. Enter some. Password, language, make it English, and there you go. This is the way to install WordPress on Work.net. You can also indicate if you want to have a multi-site. If you're not familiar with a multi-site, there's tons of information out there, and WooCommerce, which is used to make web shops. So let's continue. And now our website is being generated. So there we are, our website is generated. I had to click actually on sites and then go to the website, which took some time. And this is actually the overview of our website. Once it's generated, you can clear the caches, which is used. If you have updated your website and you don't see any change, if you're not logged in, just hit clear the caches and these changes will come. Caching is a speed optimization technology, which keeps a copy of a current page and then make your website faster. But sometimes changes on your website won't show in an instant, and for that you hit just here, clear the caches. There's a login to WordPress in here. It will straightly log you in into the WordPress backend of this given site. I will show you that later. Then in here we can easily create staging by just hitting this button. And once it's created, we can click here on production mode and move it to staging mode, which is great. So what I really like is that it's pretty simple. There are a couple of small errors while using the platform. As you can see now, I created a staging. It takes some time for this to be visible. I'll just go back to the production mode again. Okay, what was I talking about? So you have this 5 main sections in which you can see a website. There's this overview in which you can see your visitors from the last 30 days or a specific time. There's some site information, such as the address, the URL, the location, the usage, and so forth. Domains that you used in here, and you can also add an FTP account, which can be used to access server. Then you have the plugin tab, and this is one of the things that's also really unique of Rocket.net. You can see all the plugins that are installed in this WordPress installation. So you can totally stay in the Rocket.net platforms and still manage your WordPress website by installing, deleting, removing a couple of plugins. As you can see, there are quite some plugins already installed, something I didn't really like either, but you can just easily delete them like this. And there we go. It's being deleted. And now this overview is refreshing. And you can also add new plugins just by typing in and searching. And there we are. It's a whole list of plugins. This wasn't the result I expected, but as you can see, it's possible to install plugins through this. And the same applies to themes. You can use the Rocket.net platform to install any of these themes. Furthermore, there's a section to backups. You have automatic backups which take place daily and are kept for 14 days. And furthermore, you can create a manual backup on demand. For example, if you're testing something new out, doing an update, and so forth. This is a pretty useful feature. And at last, there is the advanced tab in which you can change the PHP version, which is already running on the newest version. You can also set up the auto update functions for WordPress themes and plugins, which I think is also great because a website that's properly updated is more safe. There are a couple of other sections which are interesting for developers, namely the cron jobs. Usually you can, if you're a developer, you can add a cron job using some PHP code in WordPress, and PHP is one of the languages WordPress is created with. This is not really efficient and doesn't actually work if your website doesn't have any visitor. And in this tab, you can add manual cron jobs which are run on server level. which is a lot better. At last, you can add your SSH keys, which again is a feature that is used by professional developers to access a server. Just a note, the server of Rocket.net is totally managed for you, so you actually don't need server access. But if you want to do some administrative task in WordPress, it's possible to access it. And this actually is the overview of Rocket.net. What is most important? What's the core of the package? It's that simple. I don't think it does. I don't think it actually also needs to be more complicated. It's. I think it's perfect if you are a professional. You may want to have some additional settings and options. Some more tools such as cloning, a website or a database manager, which you can access from, well, from this panel. These are a couple of features you may miss, but I think is that they focus on simplicity and it makes Worker.net very suitable for both starters, professionals to some extent, and also corporates. And why do I mention corporates? Again, it's the global speed that's very interesting. Let me show you just an example. I will go to a speed test now in a new tab. So this is the global speed test from Security, and it measures how fast, how much time it takes to get a connection to the server, and how how fast it goes when the first part of a website is downloaded. And as you can see, over the whole globe, my server is in Amsterdam, and normally it would mean that people from the Netherlands, they would have a pretty fast website. But if I would be coming, for example, from Australia, the website would be a lot slower. And I mean, with a lot slower, it would probably take more than 2 seconds instead of half a second. And as you can see here, the first byte and also the total loading time is really fast. Now it's the default theme of WordPress, but still this is actually showing the real strength of Rocket.net. You will have a fast website globally. And the great thing is that it also works pretty well with WooCommerce and other things, which doesn't always scale up globally. And that's why Rocket.net is also very interesting if you're corporate and using WordPress, and if you want to have a website that's globally accessible. Is managed, is secure, something you don't need to worry about, but needs to be available throughout the day for whole the world. Actually, in that kind of sense, it isn't that expensive if you have to set up this whole infrastructure yourself for a website that's performing globally so well. It's a lot of effort. And that's something I really like about Rocket.net. So let's just get back to our panel. And there we are again, back in our panel. As you can see in here, this is the overview with all the sites. If you click on site, you go here. You can easily create a site here. You can also manage an existing site. For example, what we didn't do is add a domain. It's just here ready to go live. And if you click here on get started, you can enter a domain like this. And there we have the second step. This is a bit more technical, so it might be less suitable for beginners. You can't register any domain at Rocket.net, so you need to have a domain at another company such as Namecheap or even Cloudflare supports domains nowadays, and you have to change the records of that domain or you have to add these records both in step 2 and step 3. You need to add records, and then your domain will be set up and ready to go. I will just skip the exercise over now, but I think you can understand how it works. So another really interesting thing is that you can log in straight to WordPress from the Rocket.net dashboard by clicking on WP admin here, or by going to sites and then clicking on WP admin, the WordPress icon here. So if I click on this, I'll be logged in to WordPress, and here we are. This is our WordPress website powered by Rocket.net with all the basic plugins installed here. Like I said, there are quite some plugins that are installed by default. Furthermore, it just looks like a regular WordPress install. So it's that easy to log into WordPress using Rocket.net, and let's investigate what other features the panel also has. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you about sites. There are some settings for billing. You can see your invoices, your plan. And there are some payments methods you can change in there. It's not that interesting, obviously. There's my account. I can change some things. One interesting things are the sub accounts. In this overview, I can add a new contact, phone number, company name, and whole address, and then I can set up email preferences and set it up as a sub account, which is an account that can also log into Rocket.net. And then I can indicate what it can view and edit. For example, it can view domains, it can sign in to WordPress, it can view products and services, pay invoices, and so forth. It's a nice feature, but it's still a bit limited in the sense that I cannot control what sites an account can access here and what things an account can do on a given website. But it's good to see that's already here. Furthermore, well, you can change your password, and there are also some security settings. Basically, it means two-factor authentication, which I think is good, especially if you're running websites for a lot of clients. There's some email history in here, which you can see all the tickets and emails going back and forth between Rocket.net and you. And of course, I can edit my account details in here, my billing address, and so forth. It's not set up here. You can change the payment methods. It's also not edited yet because I'm on testing account. And at last, we have the support. They also have a phone number and live chat support. I wasn't able to contact them on live chat on my desktop, but on my iPad I could. Probably something to do with my ad block and cookie settings. But it's also possible to view your support tickets and also add or open new tickets. And I I asked some pretty technical questions to them, and also programmed some errors within the team. And within 40 minutes, I had an answer, and within a couple of hours, all these problems were resolved, which I think is pretty fast. They also took a lot of time to answer my questions to great detail, as you can see. So it's something I think that's something really neat. Furthermore, well, you can open a ticket, like I mentioned in here, for support or general inquiries, and they also have a knowledge base on how to use the platform. For example, here is a start guide for advanced users, which are some extra details on it. I think the knowledge base is fine, but it's not elaborate. There are not that many images in it and videos. So on multiple sites, you see that the platform is pretty young and can use some improvements in user experience. But I did test the performance, and it was amazing. What I usually do for each hosting company is use a load test, and I will test how many simultaneous clients or visitors a website can handle. So that means how many visitors at the same time hitting the server each second. So each second someone is loading a page. And I tested Rocket.net, and for all the parties so far, they have the highest score because they could handle up to 3,600 users simultaneously before the server started being somewhat slower. And I think that's a great score. And the interesting fact is that they're also fast worldwide. So as I showed before, this performance is global. So actually, this video is a bit shorter than the other videos I have on hosting providers, but that's because their platform is so simple. Something I really like. And well, I think they're a hosting provider to keep your eye on, and which can be a serious contender to one of the bigger parties out there, such as Kingston, WP Engine. They have a little less features. There are a couple of rough edges, some more documentation, some more blogs on how to use the platform and how to use WordPress would be nice, but again, they're in starting phase. And performance-wise, security-wise, they're just nailing it. The websites are really fast, and as you can see, what security measures they take, the platform's also really safe. So if you're looking for a new WordPress hosting provider, which is managed, which is really fast, and also a bit cheaper than all or many of the other managed WordPress providers, try Rocket.net. Their support is also great. They know a lot about WordPress. It didn't disappoint me. So if you like this video, there's an elaborate review I've wrote about Rocket.net. The link is in the description of this video, and please, of course, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question if you have anything to ask. I'm happy to hear. And well, I wish you an amazing day, amazing evening, amazing morning, whenever you're watching this video. And let's continue on the quest of finding the best of WordPress. See ya.